That gate took like 7 minutes to pry.
Which is a good thing.
Somebody decides to break into Frost Bistro, come try to steal some money, steal the safe. Why not just do something in life to earn money and find something else to do? That's when they come out with the safe.
That's crazy. You know, it totally messes up your whole, like, your mental, you know what I'm...
Kirk had thought about this decision for months. He went over every detail, considering how it would affect his son, Kannon. He knew it wasn't something to take lightly, but deep down, he realized it was the right thing to do. After all the sleepless nights and endless thinking, he finally made up his mind. It was time to take action. He gathered the necessary documents, went through...
Sometimes I feel like we can't catch a break. You know, we're in the middle of filing for full custody. I've been in court with this situation. Then, you know, we get broken into. It's always something on top of something. It totally puts me in a bad space with even moving forward buying more property. It makes me feel like we might need to rethink and pause on the next move. I feel all kinds of ways right now because it's like, damn. You know, this being in the public eye sometimes, we just get targeted. Like, people just think, you know, let's just go break in their house. You know, they broke in Spice's house, they broke in Sierra's house, they came to my house twice. But at the end of the day, I'm just glad to be able to stay in business and provide great food and a great business for people to come to.
And what's crazy is this is something I normally would connect with Yandy with, since she's had incidents with her restaurants too, but it's like some in the water or something, because everybody's arguing, even Yandy. She came at me and Spice about some mess about Mendices and trying to act like I ain't have her back again. Crazy. Yandy. I mean, you know, I ain't got no problem with nobody for real, but my thing is like, you gotta be mindful of that.
At least y'all used to be like, it was like cliques. Now it seemed like...
Everybody just doing whatever, all over the place.
That crew, I don't know what the happened.
After kind of like replaying this whole situation, I felt like if somebody is your friend, you don't come in on the accused. Whatever Yandy and Mendices got going on in their household that's trickling all outside, that has nothing to do with me or my husband. End of story. Sometimes, you know, friendships change and...
Bro, like, what's going on here? Now, just take me off your radar. Don't come here with we got enough going on. I see Jasmine is recruiting. She's hanging around your girlfriend. We need to really, truly rethink.
Everybody. A bitch too old to be having to maintain and maintenance people. I want to protect my peace, and I want positive around me.
All the legal steps and signed the court papers. The request for full custody of Kannon was officially filed. This wasn't an easy choice, but Kirk believed it was the best one for his son's future. Kirk had spent countless nights lying awake, wrestling with the decision that would change everything. He had thought about every possible outcome, weighed every consequence, and still, he knew there was no other choice. He had to do what was best for his son, Kannon. It was the only way to ensure his safety, stability, and future. But that didn't mean the decision was easy. For years, Kirk had tried to maintain a working co-parenting relationship with Jasmine. He had given her chance after chance, hoping things would improve, that she would change. But the reality was impossible to ignore. Their relationship had been crumbling for a long time, and Jasmine's unpredictable behavior only made things worse. Her sudden mood swings, impulsive decisions, and the way she used Kannon as leverage to control Kirk had pushed him to his breaking point. He couldn't let his son grow up in an environment where love was a bargaining chip and peace was always temporary. Kannon deserved better. And if that meant taking legal action and going through the painful process of a custody battle, then so be it. The morning after Kirk officially filed for full custody, he woke up feeling an unease that settled deep in his chest. He had expected backlash. Jasmine was never the type to take something like this lightly. The phone calls from his lawyer had been reassuring but not convincing. "It's just part of the process, Kirk. Stay calm," his lawyer had told him. His friends offered their support, telling him, "She'll come around eventually." But Kirk knew better. Jasmine wouldn't understand. She never did. The day passed in a blur. He tried to focus on work, but his mind kept drifting back to Kannon. It had been days since he last saw him. Jasmine was keeping him away, something she had done before whenever she wanted to punish Kirk. But this time, Kirk wasn't going to let her get away with it. Just as the sun dipped below the horizon, a sharp knock at the door startled him. He knew who it was before he even looked. Taking a deep breath, he hesitated before walking over and peering through the peephole. There she was. Jasmine stood outside, her face twisted with fury, her eyes wide and filled with rage. Before he could even open the door himself, she shoved it open with force, storming inside like a hurricane. Her hands were balled into fists, her body tense with anger. Her voice was low but seething, each word laced with venom. "You think? You can just take him from me?" she spat, her voice shaking. "You think you have the right to rip my son away from me?" Kirk stepped back instinctively, his heart pounding. He had prepared himself for this moment, but no amount of planning could have prepared him for the storm of emotions in front of him. Jasmine wasn't just angry, she was desperate, wounded, and on the edge of losing control. "This isn't the way to handle this, Jasmine," Kirk said, keeping his voice steady. "You're only making things worse." Her eyes widened in disbelief, then narrowed with pure resentment. "I'm the one making things worse," she hissed. "You're the one taking my son away. You're trying to erase me from his life." Kirk clenched his jaw. "I'm trying to give him stability. You know this isn't about you or me. It's about Kannon." Jasmine let out a bitter laugh.
And Kirk now trying to get full custody of Kannon. Things have been going crazy for me. I really need support from my mom right now, so I asked her to tag along with me so that I can fill her in on what's going on with me and Kirk. Mommy. Hey, babe. I also asked Rod to meet with me as well. As a lot of you might remember, Rod was my longtime partner and the man that helped me raise Kannon.
Jasmine and I have been together off and on for about 5 years now.
Kirk is the father of Kannon. He's denying everything.
I don't know what you expected from him but that.
Kirk is doing all this because he's shaking in his boots right now. He's trying to discredit me. He's trying to make me out to be a hoe.
You brought him into our life, you gotta deal with the situation.
I'm going to deal with Kirk how I see fit. Already filed the paperwork, and he will be served.
Rod views Kannon as his flesh and blood. Rod's picking him up to watch him when I have to work. Like he's been there a whole lot. So let's get to it. You know, me and Kirk have been in this child support court situation for over a year now.
Right.
The first time I went through it, I kind of let it go because I let him convince me to.
Yeah.
And this time around, I'm not budging. He gives me $1,000 a month.
What? That's crazy.
$1,000 a month. I don't understand it. Like how?
And he's still battling me, saying, what 8-year-old needs $1,000? I thought we finally settled on the money amount a few months back at the Cyphers of the A concert.
So the amount of money that I sent you, that's the number you cool with, right?
Yes.
So we can end this lawyer.
Period. But typical Kirk backed out on our agreement of the amount that he was supposed to give me. So I had to take Kirk to court to get a reasonable amount of child support because $1,000 a month just isn't doing it. We had our preliminary trial, and Kirk is now trying to countersue for full custody.
Full custody?
Stop it.
I can count on my hand in the last year how many times he's seen Kannon.
I don't know where the delusion lies because he really thinks that he goes above and beyond. You just started getting Kannon that one weekend a month.
Cannon's with me 10 times more than he's ever.
Right. Exactly.
This delusion is just going above and beyond. Kannon calls that man Yaya. He don't even call me dad.
Daddy.
He calls me dad because he wants so bad to identify with a father figure.
Yeah.
And it's not making sense to him because I don't even see you, man. So, like, custody is nuts.
The fact that Kirk is going for full custody is up to me. Kannon doesn't even know how he fits into your family, into your life as it is. In my heart, I feel like it's just another tactic that he's pulling
Most definitely.
to get away from paying me whatever he's supposed to pay me, or maybe he's trying to scare me into settling. But that man does not want full custody because he was offered 2 weekends a month and didn't even want that.
He's mad because you called him out.
Kirk is doing this because he's mad and he doesn't want to pay child support. But now he's not the only one that's mad. Now I'm mad. What he's doing by countersuing me for full custody is fucked up. If he thought I was calling him names before, oh, you just wait, baby. I just feel like I'm at my wit's end.
There better be some kind of civilized solution.
I tried. I done chased Rashida around at one point. Now I'm not chasing Rashida around. Now her friends want me to chase her around and did that. Backfired. Rashida don't want to talk to me. Like, I'm done.
So I don't want you to give up on it. I know the court might be the final say so, but at the end of the day, y'all gonna have to work this out. I just want for Kannon to have a good relationship with his father. I want for y'all to have a good relationship because at the end of the day, Kannon deserves that. At this point, they need an olive branch. They need something.
I'll never.
Laugh, shaking her head. Don't you dare act like you're some kind of hero, Kirk. You think you can just decide what's best for him all by yourself? She took a step closer, her voice dropping to a whisper. You think he won't hate you for this? Kirk felt a pang in his chest, but he didn't let it show. Kannon needs a stable home, Jasmine. A home where he doesn't have to walk on eggshells. A home where he knows he's safe. Jasmine's lip quivered, but she quickly masked it with another wave of anger. You want to talk about safety? She snapped. You think you're the perfect parent? Newsflash, Kirk, none of us are, but at least I love him enough to fight for him. Kirk exhaled sharply, and that's exactly what I'm doing. For a moment, the room was silent except for their heavy breathing. The weight of the moment pressed down on both of them, thick and suffocating. Jasmine's hands shook as she crossed her arms, her rage now mixed with something else. Fear. I won't let you take him from me, she said, her voice breaking. I won't. Kirk softened, but he remained firm. I don't want to take him away from you, Jasmine, but I won't let him grow up in chaos either. We need to find a way to make this work. For him. Jasmine swallowed hard, her eyes darting to the side. She was losing control of the situation, and she knew it. But instead of yelling again, she just shook her head. You'll regret this, she muttered. And then, just like that, she turned and stormed out, slamming the door behind her. Kirk let out a long breath and ran a hand through his hair. He had expected a battle, but this felt like the beginning of a war. He didn't know what Jasmine would do next, but